Welcome back to the channel. It's a nice day, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to dedicate some time to working on this car. I've had this part lying around for a minute, and obviously I need the rear hatch open so you guys can see what I'm going to be installing, which is right here. This is the AFE Magnum Force cold air intake kit, and I'm really excited to install it. Seems like it's going to be pretty straightforward. First thing I'm going to do is remove this cover here, access the panel that covers the original cold air intake, and then just start disassembly. So I'm going to kind of just do a little step-by-step and show you guys the process. This is not necessarily meant to be a how-to video, but just to kind of just show you how it's going to look before and after. So we'll go to that point. All right. So as you can see, I removed the carpet, folded it back, took that panel off. You end up needing a T15 Torx bit. And so as long as you've got that, you can get all these, zip them all off. I think there's about 18 of them. And so now you can see that that's all clear and open. This is the air box, the original air box. So now we pretty much just remove this and kind of go from there, figure out what needs to happen next. And we'll just start following the steps. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're on to the next step now. You can see here, this is the air box. I disconnected the bolts that were holding it on, disconnected obviously from down here. That's the throttle body. And then, you know, just removed the harnesses and the clips from the back of the air box. So now we need to remove this air box out and then change over a few parts to the new box, and then start putting things back together in reverse order. So pretty straightforward. Let's go to that next step. Okay, so now I've got the stock air box out. Here's the new air box. And basically what you need to do is just transfer over things like this antenna, heat shielding, sensor down here, a couple other things over to this side, to this box right here. Once that's transferred over from here to here, then we can gonna start putting it back together, and then this will get ready to we'll get ready to put this back into the car. So we'll move to that step. Okay guys, so now I've kind of zoomed in, showing you this is the throttle body, right? What I'm going to be installing next as part of this cold air kit is actually a AFE, same brand as the intake itself, throttle body spacer. This is supposed to help create just a little bit more flow of air into the intake manifold. So we'll see how this ends up working out. But the next step is to remove these 4 bolts that you can see right there from the throttle body. Remove those 4 bolts. The throttle body is going to get slid back, and then I'm going to install this spacer next. So what I'll do is do that step, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like installed. Okay guys, so now as you can see, that's the throttle body spacer. Now it's spaced out this far, and obviously it had a gasket on both ends. So now you've got a perfect seal there. It actually clocks your throttle body just a little bit back this way, counterclockwise, to clear everything else. And then obviously I just hooked up the throttle position sensor again. And so we are ready to go. Now I'm just gonna keep going and install the next piece to install is this right here, which is the coupler that's gonna sit there, and then this piece will hook up to the airbox itself. So that'll be the next step. All right, so now I've installed the coupler, which is this piece right here, and it came with a provision for the breather. So now that's been installed and it's clamped down tight. Now the next step is just to, you can see it from this end. Next step is just to actually bring the new airbox and put it in place. Okay, so now the airbox has been installed. What follows is installing these side couplers here and right over here. And they look like this. Okay, you just kind of pop them in there and then they hold in place. They don't need to be clamped. And then we're going to be inserting the next piece that connects right back to the throttle body. So I'll move to that step. Okay, So I just popped these clamps in. There's no clamp necessary, or sorry, these couplers. No clamps are required. You just kind of have to pop it in and then wiggle it in from the inside here. And as you can see here, it's nice and secured. Same thing with the passenger side. There you go. So those are installed, ready to go. Next step is to put the actual air intake on. That's next. All right, guys, this is the finished product now. You can see everything has been installed. We've got twin air intakes here. The stock airbox had like this oval shaped filter that was not really conducive to bringing a lot of air into the engine. The good news is that when I did research on this particular box, when they tested it over at Paragon Performance, it had a very clean mass airflow signal because the diameter of this intake pipe is the same as the one that was on the original airbox. As long as you keep the diameters the same, there's no tune required. You're just smoothing out how the air comes in, and you're improving the flow of air coming in. So the mass air is going to detect more air, which of course will then adjust on the computer for air fuel ratios and spark to meet that demand. So it should work out pretty well. We'll see how this thing sounds. It's supposed to have great sound, so that'll be the next thing I do, is just put everything back together, fire it up, and listen to it. All right, so now everything is installed back to factory spec, ready to go. All the insulation is in place, ready to go. So now next step is fire this thing up, listen to it, see how it sounds. All right, so I sat in the car, fired it up. Everything looks good. There's no, obviously no check engine lights or anything like that. Hopefully you guys can hear that nice, strong air intake sound now. Never heard that before, so that sounds really good. But otherwise, it all looks good. We're gonna have to see how it performs on the street next. All right, guys, so that does it for this install. It took about, I wanna say like 3.5, 4 hours, something like that. But that's because I'm really slow, methodical, take my time, took breaks to have drinks and water and all that stuff. If you're really hitting it fast, you could probably get this done in 2.5 hours realistically. Mine took a little bit longer because I also had that throttle body spacer that I also installed. But nonetheless, it's completely done. Fires up, idles, no problems. It sounds great. So now I'm just going to take it out on the street, test it out, and then I'll probably, on the next video I drop, I'll give you guys a quick update on how this is doing. Outside of that, I appreciate all your support. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And then next time, we'll be doing some more parts, some more installs on this engine. So until then, this is Motors and Medicine signing off. Have a good one.